Some people speak loudly to appear intelligent. Others display titles, opinions, and confidence like armor. But real intelligence doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself quietly through restraint, clarity, and unshakable inner order. We live in an age obsessed with appearing smart. Yet the wisest minds throughout history agreed on one thing. Intelligence is proven by how a person governs themselves when no one is watching. What follows are not traits you can imitate for long. They cannot be copied, rehearsed, or worn as a mask. They emerge only from inner discipline, emotional mastery, and a mind trained to see reality as it is. Let's begin. Sign 1. You are calm where others are reactive. There is a quiet mark of intelligence that almost never announces itself. It does not argue loudly. It does not rush to prove anything. Instead, it reveals itself in moments of tension, when chaos invites reaction, and yet you remain still. While others are pulled by anger, panic, or ego, you pause, you observe, you choose. This calm is not weakness, it is mastery. We live in a world addicted to reaction. People mistake loud emotions for depth and quick opinions for wisdom. But the intelligent mind understands something deeper. Not every stimulus deserves a response. When conflict appears, we do not immediately defend our pride. When insult arises, we do not rush to strike back. When uncertainty looms, we do not collapse into fear. We create space between what happens and how we respond. In that space, power lives. This ability is not accidental. It is trained. Ancient thinkers like Epictetus emphasized that people are disturbed not by events themselves, but by their judgments about those events. Modern researchers echo this idea, showing that emotional regulation and delayed response are strong indicators of cognitive maturity and long-term success. The intelligent person senses this instinctively. We understand that losing control is more costly than losing an argument. Calmness under pressure also signals something else: freedom from external validation. When we are not desperate to be right, admired, or feared, we stop reacting emotionally to every provocation. We no longer hand others control over our inner world. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is not to be like the one who wronged you. That single sentence contains a lifetime of psychological insight. True intelligence refuses to mirror chaos. This does not mean we feel nothing. On the contrary, we feel deeply, but we do not let emotions rule us. Anger becomes information, not a command. Fear becomes a signal, not a prison. We experience emotion, then decide what to do with it. That decision-making power is the signature of a disciplined mind. Over time, this calm reshapes our relationships and our lives. People begin to sense it. They may not understand it, but they feel it. They notice that we do not gossip, explode, or spiral. We listen more than we speak. We move deliberately. In heated moments, our silence carries more weight than others shouting. This is why calm individuals are often seen as leaders, even without seeking the role. Most importantly, this trait protects us from self-destruction. Many people are not defeated by enemies, but by their own unchecked reactions. Intelligence shows itself when we refuse to sabotage ourselves for temporary emotional relief. We choose long-term strength over short-term expression. If you recognize this calm within yourself, especially when life tries to provoke you, understand this. It is not accidental. It is a sign of deep intelligence, and the more we protect it, the more unshakable we become. Sign 2. You are comfortable admitting you don't know. One of the clearest signs of real intelligence is not how often we speak, but how easily we remain silent when certainty is false. While many rush to appear informed, we feel no urgency to pretend. We can say, without shame or fear, "I don't know." And in a world built on fragile egos, that quiet honesty is rare. Most people confuse intelligence with having answers. But the disciplined mind understands that wisdom begins with recognizing limits. When we admit ignorance, we open the door to learning. When we deny it, we seal ourselves inside illusion. Seneca warned that the greatest obstacle to progress is the belief that we already know enough. Modern cognitive science supports this. Overconfidence correlates strongly with poor decision-making, while intellectual humility predicts adaptability and growth. We do not speak just to fill silence. We do not argue simply to win. When a conversation reaches the edge of our knowledge, we pause, we listen, we ask. This is not passivity, it is precision. Every unnecessary opinion drains mental energy. Every false certainty weakens judgment. We protect our mind by refusing to posture. This trait also reveals emotional strength. To admit, "I don't know," requires security within oneself. It means our self-worth is not tied to appearing superior. We do not need to dominate discussions to feel valuable. As Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to appear foolish in matters that do not truly matter. The intelligent person understands this deeply. Over time, this humility creates quiet authority. People begin to trust us, not because we speak the most, but because when we do speak, it carries weight. Our words are not inflated, they are measured. And when we say something, it is grounded in thought, not impulse. This habit also protects us from manipulation. Those who claim certainty in everything are easy to deceive. They are blind to their own blind spots. But when we acknowledge uncertainty, we stay alert. We question assumptions. We are harder to control, harder to mislead. Most importantly, this sign reflects mastery over ego. Ego demands applause. Intelligence seeks truth. When we choose truth over image, growth becomes inevitable. If you find yourself increasingly comfortable saying, "I don't know," take it as a signal. Your mind is no longer performing, it is evolving. Sign 3. You respond, you don't react. One of the most undeniable signs of real intelligence is emotional restraint, not the absence of emotion, but mastery over it. While others explode, defend, or lash out, we pause, we breathe, we choose. This space between stimulus and response is where intelligence lives. Most people are ruled by reflex. A comment triggers anger, a delay triggers anxiety, a disagreement triggers ego. But the disciplined mind does not surrender control so easily. We understand that every reaction hands power to the outside world, and power, once given away, is rarely returned. Ancient thinkers understood this long before modern psychology gave it language. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by events but by the judgments they form about them. Today, neuroscience confirms the same truth. Emotional regulation is a key predictor of long-term success, clarity, and leadership. Intelligence is not measured by IQ alone, but by how well we manage inner chaos. We do not rush to defend ourselves. Silence becomes our shield, not because we are weak, but because we are precise. When insulted, we assess. When provoked, we observe. When challenged, we respond only if it serves purpose. Every unnecessary reaction is a leak of energy. This habit makes us unpredictable to manipulators. They rely on impulsive reactions. When none come, their influence collapses. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Emotional control is exactly that, refusal to descend. Over time, this trait reshapes our entire life. Conflicts shrink, regret fades, decisions sharpen. We are no longer dragged by moods or controlled by fleeting feelings. We act from principle, not pressure. This does not mean we suppress emotion. Suppression creates tension. We acknowledge what we feel, but we refuse to let feelings command us. We separate signal from noise. Emotion informs us. Reason decides. People begin to sense this calm. In chaos, we remain steady. In pressure, we slow down. In conflict, we stay grounded. This presence creates quiet respect, not forced, earned. If you've noticed that you no longer react the way you once did, if you pause where you used to explode, that is not emotional numbness. That is intelligence maturing. You are no longer living at the mercy of the moment. You are governing yourself. Sign 4. You are comfortable standing alone. One of the rarest signs of genuine intelligence is the ability to stand alone without feeling diminished. While most people fear isolation, we recognize solitude as a place of sharpening, not punishment. We do not chase belonging at the cost of truth. We would rather be alone than aligned with noise. The intelligent mind is not addicted to approval. It understands that crowds are loud but rarely wise. Seneca warned that the soul is weakened when it surrenders itself to the opinions of the many. Modern psychology echoes this. Independent thinkers are less influenced by social pressure and more consistent in their values. We are not impressed by popularity, we are guided by coherence. Standing alone does not mean rejecting others. It means refusing to betray ourselves. We step back when conversations become shallow, when values blur, when compromise demands silence over integrity. This choice is often misunderstood. People call it arrogance, distance, or coldness. But in truth, it is alignment. We become selective with our energy. Not everyone deserves access to our thoughts, time, or inner world. This discernment protects clarity. While others exhaust themselves trying to fit in, we conserve strength by standing firm. There is a quiet confidence in knowing who you are, even when no one else agrees. This trait often develops through loss. At some point, we realize that being surrounded does not mean being supported. That lesson reshapes us. We stop clinging. We stop performing. We stop explaining ourselves to those committed to misunderstanding us. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed by the color of its thoughts. When we stand alone, we choose our mental environment carefully. Solitude becomes a training ground. Reflection replaces distraction. Depth replaces noise. We hear our own thinking clearly for the first time. People sense this independence. It unsettles those who depend on validation. They wonder how we remain steady without constant reassurance. The answer is simple. We built our foundation inward. If you find yourself walking a quieter path, less crowded, less approved, but more honest, this is not a flaw. It is a sign of intelligence refined by courage. You are not isolated. You are self-aligned. Sign 5. You master your emotions instead of being ruled by them. One of the clearest signs of genuine intelligence is not how fast you think, but how deeply you govern yourself. While many people are intelligent in words yet weak in emotion, we move differently. We feel deeply, but we are not dragged by our feelings. We observe them, we question them, we decide when they deserve a response and when they do not. This is rare. Most people believe emotions are commands. Anger must be expressed, fear must be obeyed, desire must be chased. But intelligence recognizes a harder truth. Emotions are signals, not orders. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by events, but by their judgments about events. That insight alone separates the disciplined mind from the reactive one. We pause where others explode. We remain calm where others panic. Not because we are numb, but because we have trained ourselves to create space between stimulus and response. Modern psychology confirms this as emotional regulation, one of the strongest predictors of long-term success and mental resilience. But long before research, the ancient thinkers lived it. This mastery often comes from pain. At some point, we realize that losing control always costs more than staying composed. Words spoken in emotion cannot be recalled. Actions taken in anger build consequences that linger for years. So we learned restraint, not as suppression, but as strength. We allow emotions to pass through us without letting them take the wheel. Sadness is felt, not dramatized. Anger is acknowledged, not unleashed. Joy is enjoyed, not clung to. This balance creates an inner stability that others feel but cannot explain. People notice it in conflict. When provoked, we do not rush to defend our ego. Silence becomes our shield. Clarity becomes our weapon. While others try to win arguments, We focus on preserving our inner order. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he would meet rude, selfish, and ignorant people, and that none of them had the power to harm his character unless he allowed it. We live by the same principle. This emotional discipline makes us unpredictable to manipulators. They cannot bait us easily. They cannot control us through guilt, fear, or outrage. That alone sets us apart. Emotional independence is a form of freedom few achieve, but make no mistake, this path is lonely. People are uncomfortable around those they cannot emotionally move. They test boundaries. They provoke reactions. When none come, they project coldness or arrogance. In reality, they are witnessing self-mastery. We do not deny emotion. We transcend impulsiveness. We understand that the strongest person in the room is not the loudest, but the most composed. If you find that you no longer react the way you used to, if chaos around you no longer creates chaos within you, this is not emotional distance. It is intelligence sharpened into discipline. And that kind of intelligence cannot be faked.